Today, we are joined by a man who needs no introduction, but that doesn't mean I won't try. The one and only Master Sri Akarshana, or as I like to say, Brother Akarshana, who is a part meditation guru, a spiritual leader, a singer, a dancer. You're like a triple threat in the spiritual badass world. Also a very successful entrepreneur. And possibly the only spiritual leader I know who can do a headstand whilst dropping a beat. As the organizer of R.I.S E, I've witnessed your magic and generosity, which I would really like for more and more of the audience to witness. And that's why you're here at this podcast.
Thank you. Thank you, Amit brother. Thank you. Namaste. Thank you for having me.
So let's dive into your journey and maybe steal some dance moves in the process. Let's go to the very beginning of when we first met, where you walked into the room and I shared the concept of R.I.S E with you. It took you 5 minutes to decide to be a part of it, to be a keynote. What resonated with you so strongly to be the keynote speaker at R.I.S E, which came up with an immediate yes?
You're sharing the message of positivity. You're helping people. I think that doesn't need any thinking, and like you, I'm very aware of people's energies and things like that. And when you came through, I could feel your authenticity and what you are wanting to achieve. So there is no, sometimes you go with people for certain business deal, and then you need to figure out the contract and the small print and what's going on. But when it's something like this, then it's just the service that we need to do, So there was no thought needed.
It's more of a spiritual contract, let's call it that. I love it. You had the room mesmerized at your keynote presentation. What's your secret? Deep meditation, or are you secretly a Jedi master pulling energy strings?
I was born super charismatic and
very modest as well, of course.
Speaking is a skill. So communication is a skill, and you learn it, So I just started as a speaker around 13 years ago now, and I went to learn. So I observed how people engage the audience and how people can create those different dynamics in the context of the way they speak to allow the message to land. And so I studied for many years and I practiced for many years, and so this is what you have now.
Well, I think we've got a pretty good version of you, which is constantly improving. And that's the concept of R.I.S E anyway. So moving to you choosing to set up your meditation center in Dubai. But let's be real, you could have done it anywhere in the world, right? Is it the skyline, the energy, or because you get to occasionally hang out with the camels?
I think, there's numerous reasons. And like what you were speaking about before we came onto this show, I believe that everything happens for a reason. We were actually just about to move to California, LA. And lockdown happened, and we actually got locked down in Dubai. And Dubai was the only place that we opened. This was the layover, but we couldn't go any further. Oh. And so we were stuck here. And while we were stuck here, I seen something that I never seen anywhere before. And, I think Dubai is a miracle. Not I think it is, I know it is. To say that for the past, 30 years or so, it's completely turned from a desert to what it is now is a miracle. And I think that a lot of spiritual people, or people who maybe feel they have a higher level of consciousness, they look at Dubai and they say, no, there's no greenery, there's no nature, it's not good there, and energy's not good, and it's all about money and all the rest of it. But if you really understand spirituality, then you understand that it's all-inclusive. There's no divide between material and physical in spiritual world. It's abundance of everything. For a place to, in the past 30 years, to do what it's done like it's done here, divine energies are in place. They're here. You could not have the speed of growth if there wasn't some kind of divine orchestration or intervention happening. And so they are very much here. And they talk about nature and all of this. Nature, it will come. Everything will come. So when I seen it, I said that this is where the energy is now. And I seen that there's going to be many leaders, entrepreneurs, even spiritual teachers will come here. And this is what's been happening the past couple of years. I think it's just more and more people are moving here now.
I think it's, I'm grateful that divine intervention took place and you were stuck in Dubai, because it has actually a very magical effect. My parents moved to Dubai about 45 years ago, for 5 years, and they never left. It's everyone's short-term plan to be here, but there's something magical in the air where people just don't want to leave. And I was born here, and I call Dubai the cleanest city of India because there's so many of us here. There's literally nothing that I would like to get, that I could get in India that I can't get here.
It has everything.
It has everything. And I think the let's call it the culture, the tradition values of UAE is also very family-oriented. Yes, they've focused on growth, like the world has towards progress, but at the same time, they haven't forgotten their roots. And that's what matters most. You know, people have to be sometimes kept in check. You can't just say no rules and then do whatever you want. But I think even as on a spiritual front, we tend to break the rules only after you've mastered them, right? That's when you can. Otherwise, you just don't know where you're going. And the fact that they've opened up to so many different faiths is probably the best thing.
It's the best place to be on earth right now. It really is. At least for the next 5-10 years, it will still be the case. And then we got to observe what happens next. But for now, the energies are here.
You just endorsed Dubai, so that's good. The government would love that once they see it. I was born here, so I mean, this is home for me. It never changed on that front. But moving on to the next question. You're a spiritual teacher, but you work out, dance, sing, a successful entrepreneur. As I said, you're like a triple threat in any realm that you step into. What is the self-talk that goes in for you to embrace that limitless nature?
I think if you understand what spirituality actually is, it is what R.I.S.E is about. It's about being limitless. Because spiritual realm, anything is possible. There are no limits. Only in this physical reality we may have this physical human mind that limits us. So it doesn't matter what I receive in a day or an opportunity to dance or to sing or to do what, then whatever I do, then I want to be the best at it. Right, what's the point in doing something? You know, some people say we do things just, you know, it's about taking part. But why? You know, you have the blessing to be able to do your best in something and practice something. Then why not, in this very short-lived life that we have, why not do your best to see what you can actually achieve, you know, and reach that true potential? And so I don't feel like you know, when people say that, oh, you know, you've done this already, you've done that already, you've got this, you've got that, you know, you've got it all or something. I think I'm far from getting it all. You know, I feel like there is so much more to explore, and there's so much more room to grow. You know, and I think that's what life is about.
True. I think the more you know, the less you know. That's the conundrum that we're all in when we go down the spiritual path. As we know that it's forms in cycles, the ascension. Anything in life is a cycle. You think, okay, I'm starting to raise my vibration. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm coming back down. And then it just sort of slowly just go up in those cycles. And I think that's what's important for a lot of people watching this also, to understand that no matter where you think you are on your path, you're exactly where you need to be. And not anywhere before or after, unless you choose to sabotage or keep sabotaging by not learning certain lessons. Thank you for bringing the fact that R.I.S.E is all about uplifting ourselves, which is breaking it down to understanding what is basically holding me back from becoming the best version of me. And that doesn't mean that I actually have to work hard. I work hard within, and that's when everything becomes easier to manifest. because you're not living in a certain vibration. But for a lot of people, as we know, they find it very hard to isolate. Whenever I've spoken to anyone, they go, why do you isolate? I'm like, so that I can differentiate between my energy from everyone else's. And when I can distinguish between that, I'm able to uplift that. And you know this probably better than most people, how chaotic the spiritual awareness process is. It's death after death of your ego to becoming that limitless version, breaking generational curses. Do you mind telling the audience a little bit about that journey of when you broke some major generational curse, limited thought patterns, let's call it, that allowed you to step into your true power?
I think there's a saying that says every master was once a disaster. And I think that if we can, as quick as possible, make as many mistakes as possible, then you get into very high chaos. And when you get into very high chaos, then everything surfaces and you get what some people refer to as an awakening. And so I think that that's my experiment that I was doing 10 years back, and just being daring, trying everything, figuring it out, and then everything hits the fan, goes upside down, and then you start realizing that you got everything wrong, and then you see, and at that point you have choice. So the choice will be to start playing the blame game and thinking, why did all this happen to me? Or if you're lucky and you have some good people around you, then they can make you aware to make you understand that everything is just a reflection of you. And that's a hard truth to swallow when, because your ego is trying to tell you, no, you didn't make any of this happen, they made it happen. But then when you, face that inner demon and everything, then you realize, actually, maybe it's all me. Maybe everything that's gone wrong in my life was me. Maybe everyone that I upset was me. Maybe everyone that hates me is me. Maybe, every mistake is me. And so you embark on this this seeker's journey to find yourself. And I think you're very right with what you said just before about isolation. That's the reason why people are very afraid to be by themselves or sit in silence. Because when they do, all that's inside surfaces, and people don't like to face that, so they like to cover it up with just asking, normal small talk things just to keep conversation going. Weather is good today. Did you sleep well last night? It's non-beneficial to anybody, but they speak that because they can't deal with the silence. And I think isolation is very important. Things like Vipassana, the type of practices, isolation. I went into the Himalayas, and I was very blessed to be able to work with a Himalayan yogi and be out there with the training. So I was just there, no social media, no friends, no one else, just me, the mountains, and it made me realize a lot of things. And from there, when you have that realization, then you come out and you start adjusting everything that's inside, and it's home run from there, because you attract everything that you are. And so when you separate all of that, and I love the saying when they say elevation requires separation, because that's the tough thing, I think, for a lot of people, is when you realize that you need to probably separate yourself from surroundings that you're accustomed by, or people that you are used to, or relationships that have been long-term, friendships. But when you do that, you start attracting a whole new tribe,
In this path of becoming the spiritual master that you are, people think that it's just easy, or it's a title thrown onto people. The work that goes in, as you said, to isolate yourself and face those inner demons that keep creeping up, where you have to hug the cactus at that point rather than run away from it, is a process which most people don't want to face, because the programming is as such, where people are addicted to thinking. when actually life happens in that space between one thought to the next. And that's what understanding where the peace lies, really. You've been, like any other divine messenger, on this path and must have faced, actually not must have, you have faced a lot of critics and naysayers, making fun, jokes, hating on you. But you didn't seem to, or look like someone that has lost any sleep over that. What is your way of staying zen in that moment where you have chaos all around you?
If you know your intentions and know your truth, there's no upset there. You won't lose any sleep on it. If what people are saying are true, then you will lose sleep on it. You know, I always like the analogy when they say you can have 10 people walking down the street, and then you have somebody behind and they shout out, they say, "Hey, stupid." One turns around and says, "Why are you calling me stupid?" I love that example, because if you turn around and you say, "Why are you calling me stupid?" and you're calling yourself stupid, nobody telling you calling you stupid, because there's 10 people walking down the street. Mm-hmm. So nobody can call you out on something if you're not, and you won't feel anything if it's not true, you know. But I think it's a very interesting thing, because in today's technology world and social media world, you have a lot of keyboard warriors and people who are hiding behind the screens, and they have plenty of things to say, you know. And that's why a lot of people cannot handle these things, because you know, there's so many people who cyberbully or attack and things like that. So I think that the main thing is to know yourself well, but at the same time, if you are somebody who is trying to be somebody who's more influential, you're wanting to reach more people, actually, you need to buy into the whole package. Like, you talk about naysayers or negativity or people making comments or something. Actually, my media team, we sit down and we have meetings to ask how can we create controversy.
How can we trigger more people? Yes.
Because, trigger in what intention? If the trigger of the intention is to, you know, make people upset or angry on things like that, then that's not good, you know. But the intent is so that, because how does technology work? Technology, all social platforms thrive off negativity, you know. If you make a title and say people got to love each other more, it's not going to ride the algorithm, you know. But if you say this person is evil, it's going to ride the algorithm and everyone's going to watch it and comment. That's just how social media is made. So if you understand that and you have a positive message to share, then your question is, how can you meet people at where they're at? And then you can shift their consciousness. I think there's a lot of people today, you know, people who become spiritual or in personal development, where they're trying to spread a message of love by spreading the message of love. And it just won't work. I know after creating, I think we have about 2,500 videos or something like that on the channel. After creating that many videos, you know what works and what doesn't work. If I make a video on self-love, it's not going to get any views. But if I say this yogi is driving a Lamborghini, then everyone's going to be like, how dare you? They will click in. But when they click in, guess what? They realize that this yogi who's sitting in the Lamborghini is teaching you self-love. Now, I've gave love to the person who needs it most. So we got to meet them at where they're at. And so, you know, I think it's long past the days of thinking negativity is, it's affecting me or anything. In fact, every day we're like, why are we not getting controversy, you know? Because we're probably not hitting hard enough if we are not getting that, yeah.
See, I believe in good and I believe in evil. And I know that evil is working round the clock. But when it comes to doing good...
They are much more hard work.
Exactly. And then when it comes to doing good, the pressure that you feel of breaking through those barriers where people are just trying to shut you from speaking your truth is probably something that I faced my entire life since I was a kid. Like I said, I could never shut up. I just knew that if I had to say something, if I saw something which wasn't really going as per my values, my moral scale, I'm going to speak up and then let the pieces fall as they may. and let's see what comes through from it. And I think the most spiritual thing people can do is speak their truth. And that is what is needed even more so. And when I said triggering, by speaking the truth, yes, it might hurt, but what does it hurt? The ego, not the soul. It actually frees the soul. But when the ego gets hurt, it starts to suppress and do its whole chaotic thing. So yeah, very beautifully said.
Well, nobody could be triggered if there was nothing to trigger, you see? And when we get triggered, it's for us to evaluate what is actually going on inside. Why do we have this frustration, Because there will be some truth there.
True. Moving on to the next question. I've been personally called many names in my journey, but you, in front of almost 600 people, addressed me as a divine messenger at R.I.S.E. What kind of a spiritual radar you have to sense someone's divine calling and have the audacity to say that in front of so many people without even caring of what they would think? Because people get triggered by these kind of statements, because most of the knowledge that people have received is from books. Less of them have felt the essence of the author, right? What is your skill to be able to read someone's divine calling when you see them? And when did you discover that skill?
Well, everything starts from silencing the mind. Because when we silence our mind, what happens is our senses heighten. When our sensories heighten, we feel, we hear, we see things that we don't usually see or hear. And it's actually not that hard to tap into what some people refer to as supernatural skills, but it's not that supernatural. Like with simple breath work, all anybody needs to do right now is just to take a very slow breath in and out, and do that for 5 minutes, and then observe. You realize that now you hear the aircon, now you see more lights, now you see more things happening in the room, things that you didn't notice before. How come now you can see it, and how come now you can feel things? It's because when you breathe, you silence the mind, when you focus on breathing. And when your mind is silenced, the gateways open. You know what in yogic practices we call nadis and channels, they open. And when they open, they're more receptive. So then we have this, what people refer to as sixth sense, But it's not that hard because actually we've all witnessed it before. We've all walked down the street before and suddenly we get this feeling that I think someone's following me or something. You look behind and you realize from far ahead there's somebody there, following you. And then you're like, how did you know that, Because at times we tap into this, maybe unconsciously, we didn't try, but for some reason we were in that optimal state to feel that. We've all had that before where we think something's going to happen, a pre-assumption, and it happens. We've had it before, but we just didn't know how we turned it on and how we turned it off and how it doesn't usually happen. We just don't know. But we all have the ability. And I think the practice of yoga that we teach is teaching us how to understand this instrument and how to turn that on at all times. Because when it's on, life is easy. We see everything. We know everything. It's very clear.
You pick up on subtle hints, micro expressions when you're not in your head, right? That's beautiful. You gave a lot of yourself to R.I.S.E. I saw it, I witnessed it, people witnessed it. Your space, your time, and your energy. What fuels you and gets you to keep showing up every single day? And do you ever recharge by just binge watching Netflix like the rest of us?
Sometimes people think that they always ask, they say, how do you stay motivated? And I say, I don't have any motivation. I don't have motivation. Like when I wake up in the morning, do I want to sleep more? Of course I do. Every day when I need to go to the gym, do I want to not go to? Of course I don't want to go to the gym. If I go out for a run, do I not want to run? Of course I don't want to run. After filming 3,000 plus videos, do I want to film another one? Of course I don't want to film another one. Like, I'm not motivated. But actually, I think all of this comes with my personal connection with God, universe, divine, whatever we want to refer to. I realized when I formed that closer connection with the Creator, I no longer needed to be motivated, because every moment, all I need to do is to check my heart is pumping, my hands are moving, I'm alive, and that then comes with gratitude. Gratitude to who? Well, I can't put that gratitude to anybody else than the divine. Who else can I be grateful for that I'm alive right now? Because as we mentioned before, there is a lot of terrible things that's happening around the world right now, even in nearby places right now. People are losing lives every single day. And when we see something like this, we say, hey, I'm breathing. I can't believe it. You're giving me breath. Now, then my question is always, how do I repay you? Like, this debt, I think I need to, even if I dedicate my whole life, giving my whole life to service and sharing that divine message of love or compassion or positivity, I don't think I will ever be able to repay what I'm given, which is life, which is the most precious thing. And so, I think every day I owe it. I do owe it. And so, I even get emotional just thinking about it. Like, I owe it to them. And so I have to. It's not a choice. It's not by choice. I have to give everything my all the time.
Wow. Not everyone sees the connection between lifting weights and lifting spirits. And you seem to do that really well. What is your secret when you're pumping iron? Do you chant mantras between sets to find wholeness again?
Surprising, yes, I do. I do. We keep the balance of everything. But I think, it comes back to the same thing that I said before. We're given this body, we're given this vessel. It's our duty to look after it. It's like, this is the gift we've been given. Yeah. And I can see from your muscles that you look after your body very well.
Well, I try.
And so, it's like if somebody gives you a guitar, what are you going to do with it? You're going to break it up? You're going to smash it up? No, you're not. You're going to look after it. And so, same thing. We're given this instrument. Every day we should make an effort to look after it. Yeah.
And I think yoga must have been another very good way to connect with your body and understand how powerful this tool really is. Very early on in my spiritual path, I realized, as I said even on R.I.S E, that I thought I was losing my mind when I became the awareness of my mind. Do you understand that it's actually a crazy thing, positive and negative thoughts? For anyone on this path, especially right now, with all that chaos that's going on, apart from the breathing aspect, because I've tried this with people as an experiment to say, okay, think of the worst thing that happened in your life. Okay, now feel that. They're like, okay, feeling it. And okay, now bring your awareness to your breathing. 10, 15, 20, 30 breaths. And then I go, do you still feel the things that you were feeling? And they go, no. But then they go back to the old ways, the old programming that pulls them back. What is your way? Because we live in a time where everyone has ADHD. We call it TikTok brain, attention disorder, right? Deficiency disorder. And what is your advice to the younger generation today watching this? Because there's loads of them that will watch this now, maybe a year, maybe 10 years from now, you never know. What is your advice for those people on that path that are going through a process of awakening where the mind is showing the division, the separation, but the soul is giving that aspect of oneness, awareness? How do you teach people to change their mode and let the mood do its thing and not give too much energy towards that?
It's a very boring practice, though. I think a lot of young people they want shortcuts, and they want things that are a lot more exciting.
Exactly. Fast results.
They want a button. They want that secret button to manifest things. Because in my practices in our whole lineage, the whole practice is yoga, so it definitely will be the recommendation of yoga. Now, when we talk about yoga, it's not how commercial yoga is today. I think a lot of commercial yoga, you get all kinds of things. People think it's just for fitness, just for stretching. People think it's just for meditation or something. But yoga is actually unity. It actually answers the question you're asking. It's everything is inclusive. Everything becomes one. That's what yoga means, yoga. So the true essence of yoga is understanding our nadis, our channels, our minor chakras, our major chakras. It's our energetic body. And our energetic body, when we learn how to, we can use the word manipulate it in a positive sense. When we manipulate our energies, and we allow it to expand, we are working on our energetic body, not our physical body. And when we work on our energetic body and it's expanding, we get a very deep connection with the superconscious, with the collective. So when we are able to do that, we tap into something that is very divine, very different, very magical. And when we get that experience, and we really, really connect intensely with it, what happens is our physical. So everything in our physical reality is purely a limited reflection of our metaphysical. Metaphysical being infinite. And so when we expand our metaphysical, our physical always follows. Always. And so we'll start realizing that if I enhance my energy and I connect deeply through yoga, through the correct yoga, meditation practices, breathwork practices, then I start seeing real life results happen. And this real life result, I'm talking about, let's say, for example, we even have wealth mudras, which is in charge of our spiritual wealth channels. When we connect ourselves that way, we start realizing that our physical attraction with money also starts coming too. So then we start realizing there is no separation. If we not divide spiritual with physical, and we understand that it's all inclusive and we work on spirituality properly, we get everything physical. And so I think that is a very good starting point to go deep with yoga practices, and then just start seeing the results when you start opening up those channels.
Beautiful. What is R.I.S.E to you? And when you were at the event, you said some beautiful things. I sometimes still...
What did I say?
You said a lot of things. You said that this is a place of peace. It brings that feeling of safety, and oh my God, it can go on. I mean, to be honest, I think you were channeling a stand-up comedian and a motivator at the same time because of the charisma that you exuded at the event. But the concept of R.I.S.E, first we talked about it, then you witnessed it. You were part of it. Did you feel divine energies surrounding the place, and how you felt?
Let me not think, because my memory trying to bring that back. Let me just do a little bit of a riff and figure it out. So, R.I.S.E to me is a collective. It's a collective energy. It's a divine energy, because it's channeled from the divine through. We have our brother here. Through this vessel who decided to surrender. And I think surrendering is a big part of spirituality, and because the intention is there and the surrender is there, we always say that is the divine flow state. You know, how do we reach flow state? Flow state is the equal balance of discipline and surrender. And I think that is what we're seeing in front of us right now, and that's what came out with this concept that he does not own as his own, because he knows that it's further than that, it's beyond that. It's before that, it's greater than that. So when this great message comes out and it creates with the right intent in connecting people, it brings people together. But then the thing with bringing people together is truth prevails. Truth comes out. Now, this truth that comes out, is it good? Is it bad? Actually, it's both, just like spirituality is. So that's why that first taste of rise allowed truth to really come out. It allowed people to awaken. It allowed the audience to awaken as much as the organizers and also the speakers to awaken. Awaken to what is that truth. Now, everybody would have received a different message depending on where they are in life, because they're supposed to receive depending on where they are in life. So that divine message, because that energy was like that and everything was authenticity, when I went in scriptless. I went in just saying, I don't know. I think I've been given an hour or 2 hours. I don't know how long I've been given. And let's just let it flow. So it flowed out. It came. And what happened at the end, I just remember standing on stage and seeing everybody crying and thinking, hey, what just happened? But I realized that that cry that was longing. People needed that. Their souls were craving for that. We can say their souls were craving to break through. Their souls were craving to rise. And they got that answer. And so now, concluding that event, and many, many, many months later, we're seeing that, okay, has this guy been in a hiding, or what's been going on? No, actually, because when you open up Pandora's box in that way and it shows so much truth, then it needs some time to digest and to reevaluate, okay, what is the next steps and what is the next things? And once that is all happening, which will happen divinely, and it has happened already, now is, good preparation to the next rise, Rise 2.0. And Rise 2.0 will only be greater, will only be more powerful, will only be more divine, because now it's ready. There was no rush, there was patience, and everything is just happening in divine timing for the people to receive at the right message at the right time. That's how I see Rise.
For anyone watching this is what it sounds when you're getting a channeled message from source. When you just close your eyes, you're in the moment, you're not thinking, it just flows through you, the message flows through you. We're all channels in our way, our own way. We're all vessels. The path to spirituality has taught me a lot. Not that I have a life anymore. I am life. That's the difference. Thank you so much for everything that you do, everything that you give. But I just want to end this with one thing. When is the new album dropping?
Album will be dropping, should be December time. Yeah, should be. Looks like that way now.
Okay. Well, maybe we can use Rise 2.0 to promote it as well.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Why not?
We have a very powerful song actually for the end of the concert. It's about unity. So maybe actually we could even sing it at the next Rise event. Huh? Yeah, bring the people together.
One channel message deserves a second channel message. When I started working on Rise, I did go into isolation. I didn't know whether this event would happen or not. There were a lot of forces that people don't see that were trying to stop me from making this event happen. It came in the form of addictions. It came in the form of doubting myself. It came in the form of projections. It came in the form of people not trusting me, people thinking I'm going crazy, that I'm being depressed, whatever. Why is he isolating himself in the room? Something must be wrong with him. He's retarded, whatever was said. Up until I asked God, if I'm on the right path, please show me a sign. 2 people came then. First was Yush, and the second one was you, who solidified that I was on the right path. And that is what Rise is. When you go into isolation, when you understand your purpose starts with you. So you are your purpose, basically, and then through that we deliver whatever we have to deliver in this lifetime. And I came in this lifetime to show people how to break karmic patterns, to experience their higher self. And I have finally found a tribe that resonates with the same concept, that is fearless in their approach. And I am grateful to the One Almighty to bless me in this lifetime to connect with amazing, spiritually aware individuals that are fun. It's not boring to go through these practices. Boring is just mind trying to figure out what is peace. So thank you for everything that you do. And I would love for us to work together, however divine may enable us to make this an even bigger, better, reach out as many hearts as possible, trigger as many people as possible to go and look within rather than projecting or seeking external validation. And I am till today grateful that you're in my life and that you created magic at that event. And it's not something we can talk about. It was something that people had to experience. Everyone from the cameraman to the cleaner to the venue people experienced things that they'd never seen before. One of the speakers said, I saw my ego for what it was because I didn't get to speak. I was like, well, purpose served. That's exactly what the divine wanted you to see. And the best part was it felt like a family. And I'm sure that when you channel divine powers, you have to take a lot of rest. You've just done something amazing right now. Thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you.
And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much.